I do want to sincerely apologize about the wait times. And the player makes it in. 1 second remaining before the forfeit. Off we go into the final map. Or potential final map, my bad. Potential final map of this series. Being Cafe. Going into the ban phase, more than likely going to maybe not see the Thatcher. Because the Thatcher is only really effective on the bottom floor, as the hatches on the roof cannot be electrified. Though, still, maybe may go out of the question. Instead, Jackal, being the first ban, opted to be gone for from the defensive side of Firebird. Next, you could probably go for the Flores, who does seem to be quite oppressive in the current meta, and does seem to create quite a bit of dysfunction within a lot of teams. But you could also go for a hard breacher. Instead, the Thatcher going to be following not long behind the Jackal, and more than likely probably going to be seeing some sort of mirror, maybe a Valkyrie, some sort of intel-based operator that could probably turn the tides of either team. Here we do see mirror, and the final ban, again, could be one of these intel operators, could be a target ban, but more than likely, I feel like we're probably going to see Valkyrie here. And that we do. Valkyrie goes out in the ban phase, and that is Jackal, Thatcher, Mirror, and Valkyrie. Moving into round number 1. Operators on the board for the attacking side are going to be, so far, IQ, Finka, Yana, Hibana, and finally, drumroll, Lion. On the defensive side, going to be the Thunderbird, the Wamai, the Castle, the Jaeger, and Bandit. And as we go into this round,
attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Hoping to see any sign of life from the side of MZP. They've had a pretty rough few games so far, or few maps, as we are moving into the third of the series, losing the first 2 of the series, 7-1 on both. Does Castle have mouse bug?
5 seconds to insertion. Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
I think Castle has mouse bug. He's doing it though. He's committing. He doesn't want to drag this out any longer than it needs to. He's doing well. He's got his utility down. He's left the game. He's probably going to rejoin and primarily play cameras for the rest of this round, I assume. Potentially could be a restart. That Nitro Cell being shot out by the Finker going to be ideal for the defense, for the attacking side. They have managed to find some traction with the player leaving early on because of mouse bug, and also finding that Bandit frag as the Ana does repel up the piano windows. You're going to have Jaeger and Wamai, both in pretty separated positions, but still relatively close together, as Wamai loses his life to the Finker, but the Thunderbird is the player that trades it back. Jaeger going to be backing off of the bar position, going to be seeing if he can maybe get aggressive in Cocktail instead, but with Thunderbird getting a bit more aggressive through the bar position, seeing if she can maybe find an engagement. Jaeger just playing his long angles, seeing if he can spot out a player that gets a bit too aggressive or takes too wide of the peak. Not going to be finding those at this very given point in time. They do drone out the Thunderbird. From what I see there, Shorty does manage to get back into the game. And now he's going to be playing his camera. hoping that in the next round, he won't have Marsburg. Jaeger still playing on that top right position, and the Thunderbird playing in the freezer. Possibly going to be getting into some sort of engagement sometime soon, as these Habana holes are being opened up on the freezer to piano wall. Does go for the swing, manages to find the frag onto the Habana. That's a good opener, as that is going to be one of the 2-3 speeds remaining off the board. Taking out three flashes along with it, the IQ now going for the diffuser. The IQ has grabbed the diffuser. You're going to have IQ and Nomad, the ARX and the Commando versus the Spear and the 416. As the Thunderbird falls very weak behind that bar, it's going to be very, very sketchy, as you know,
5 seconds to go.
managing to find a quad kill for this round. The IQ planting in cocktail. Maybe not going to be spotted out by this Jaeger. The Jaeger going to be swinging onto the IQ. Does manage to find the kill. Very well played from him.
Defenders disabled the diffuser. Defenders win.
And that is round 1 to Firebird. Not looking very promising for the side of MZP at the moment, as even in a 4v5, it was still as close as it was. And now we see BDS Mozzie, Best Mozzie, coming into the board for the defensive side. They're going to be bringing that to Chanka, making sure they open up the kitchen wall in the middle to try and make some sort of line of sight in order to be able to take engagements across kitchen and be able to get those shoemakers across the room.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can. Bomb located by attackers. Deploying razor wire going up. Floor secured.
They're going to be opening those head holes to make sure they can launch the shoemakers through. More than likely, Tachanka going to be playing on the bomb, maybe just outside freezer, maybe even on the half wall in the service site.
5 seconds to go. Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Station in place.
The Mozzie making sure to go through his comms, see where people are spawning, see where people are coming from, and see if he can maybe get a nice little peek onto someone in the early round. He does break the window and manage to get a lot of damage onto the IQ, unable to find the frag, a little bit of a whiff there by the looks of things, but opens up the window on the opposite side and goes for the same thing. Opts to back away for now, as he may go back at a later date, and Yuno losing his life to the Finger. The Finger already so aggressive into the bakery area, and this might be exactly what MZP need. Metasport going to be getting aggressive, making sure that they're able to pressure the side of Firebird. The nade going off, dealing damage to 2 players, but unable to find any frags, as the Jaeger now returns one onto MZP. MZP going into the position that they were beforehand on the previous 2 maps, which I'm assuming is the reason they lost, where they're just stalemate. They're afraid. They're not moving any further than they need to. Finger does manage to find another onto the Jaeger, and that is now a 2-man advantage. But with Dormai finding one more, that is going to equalize it that little bit more. Mozzie going to still be in that service area, going to be trying to see if he can try and get someone on the peak around the breach. Positioning wise, it looks like he's probably going to be taking an engagement with Finker. Finker going to be trying to go for the nade, though. The nade going to be swinging through. Is it going to be finding it? No, it's not. And instead, Mozzie is going to be finding the pick onto the head of Finker. Again, another player peeking through that same angle, but Mozzie's still alive. The guy in prep going to be engaged upon by the Mozzie now, as Mozzie does end up falling. It's now a 2v1. And Wamai managing to find both of those frags head after head. Going to be coming out with a win again. Another clutch situation for the side of Firebird. 2 clutch wins in a row now for the side of Firebird. And that is going to really put them in a good position, as they've already managed to find the first 2 rounds, and with how dominant they were in the previous maps, they are going to be able to secure at least a reasonable half. Going down into, or going up in the world rather, to the 2nd floor, not the top floor, Reading and Fireplace is the next site.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
This site very much reliant on its upstairs hold and its upstairs take, respectively, for each different side. We do see the holes being made onto the corridor walls, just to make sure that there is a little bit of coverage if anyone does manage to make their way into that concealed off 90 area. That will allow for a little bit easy picking for whatever defender decides to play behind the bookshelf on the reading site.
Bomb located by attackers.
But as we do see Malusi struggling with a bookshelf on the opposite side.
Attackers objective is
A bit of funny business in the cast, one might say. Some of the players opting to go upstairs now, which is a little bit later in the round than what I might expect, but as long as it's before 20 seconds, there's no chance really in the slightest that the enemy team is going to be entering the building yet. But the C4 comes out of one of the top windows, I think, and doesn't manage to secure a kill. But rappelling on these piano windows is going to allow them a little bit of leeway in order to try and pressure some of the players that are around piano. But it doesn't look like anyone's really going to be playing too aggressively there, as this Capcan is in an ideal position to really be able to try and get a couple kills. Not going for anything under the window, and instead going to be hearing the rappel in. The Buck. Or is it the Ace? It's the Buck. The Buck, very aggressive, onto the bathroom, does end up losing his life to the Malusi. The Malusi now going to be taking the swing onto the Yana, does end up losing her head in return. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade on both sides. As now the Yana going to be taking another engagement, this time onto the Wamai. And, or maybe not the Wamai, I'm not sure. May have been the Capcan. But either way, players rotating out and just playing a little bit safer. Sledge finding a returning frag onto the Wamai now, as the Jaeger returns back, or fires back, with a kill onto Maggie. Jen going to be walking in through piano, does lose his life to Shorty, and that is going to be the man advantage in favour of Firebird once again. Sledge going to be moving very aggressively into Freezer, and going to be trying to take this engagement with the player that is playing in the cocktail side. Maybe top white. As Nomad is going to be trying to take the swing, sees the shield and isn't able to really find anything. Sledge goes down to the player that is in cocktail, and that is going to be the round. Once again, this time not a clutch, to the side of Firebird. 3-0. Potentially Firebird looking for a 7-0 right now in order to really fire up the egos. And that is exactly what will close out this round, or close out this series, as quickly as possible. Moving into round number 4, going back upstairs to the 3rd floor bar and cocktail lounge.
Attackers need to locate
a
and
very strong
defuse the bomb.
performance in the previous round from the side of Firebird. Firebird down a player was still able to secure the
Bomb
entire
located by
round. He did
attackers.
put his utility down on the ground and was able to really have some sort of impact than just being a lever. But this time he's going to be on the board. He's going to be gun up, firing at all cylinders. And that's going to be very good for the side of Firebird, because having that extra gun could have probably stopped them from going into the clutch situation that they were in before.
5 seconds to insertion. Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
I'm dry. Coordinates set. Online.
Jaeger spotting out some cameras on the bottom right. Going to be seeing if he can take an aggressive peek onto any of those players, but Ying does find a frag onto the Malusi. One by finding one in return, and that is going to be 1-for-1. Jumping out the window, managing to find another, but Ying, once again, managing to return that frag back. 3v3. Only a minute into the round.
Drone activated.
The attackers a minute into the round, only just now opening up the hatches. Is going to be ideal for them, as they are going to be trying to push them. For the defenders, however, they do have this player in Pillar. They do have a player in Pixel, and they also do have a player over in the Cocktail side. These players all going to be looking for separate engagements on separate angles in order to try and catch out these attackers. And honestly, if MZP isn't able to get a 3-3 split here, it's not going to be looking very promising for them for the rest of the series, if not just this map. Yin Candela is being thrown away into the pixel area. IQ managing to find the trade onto Shorty there, who is playing in the bathroom area. But with Jaeger still playing around the top white area, and you've still got Wamai over in Cocktail side, they are still going to be able to take these engagements. Ying going to be opening up onto the bar wall, seeing if she can maybe get a way in to try and start off a plant, but the guy in Freezer is going to be the one that to say no.
15 seconds.
You are not able to get in through this angle, and you are not able to start getting the plant off. The Jaeger going to be playing very aggressively on these angles, but does end up losing his life. And Ying, finding one more, gives us the first round in favor of MZP.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Moving into round number 5. Firebird going to be taking us down to the, as the players would call, the basement site. It's the first floor.
Attackers
It is
discovered
the
location of a bomb.
kitchen and service. It is also a site that Firebird have already won, at least once. that same round, they were left in a 2v4
10 seconds remaining.
situation,
5
and we're
seconds
still
left
able
before
to pull
insertion.
something out of the bag. We'll see if it does end up in that
Attackers are
situation
heading
once
out
again,
to
and if they are still able to create an opening to get the win for themselves, but we'll have to wait and see. As I do hear the Gauntlet 6 going off, they are going to be opening up the main bakery door. No doubt Thinker is going to be wanting to get aggressive on that once more. The mute of Shorty going to be very aggressive on the door, going to be seeing if he can try and take a peek onto one of the players that is playing on these tighter angles. The Flores drone coming through and able to really get through before Shorty is able to get it. And with the Wamai covering mini bakery here, the only real sort of avenue you have in order to get to this mute is maybe a nade. Or even just walking through without having to win some sort of luck-based gunfight. Instead, Mute backs off after taking quite a bit of damage and already finding a frag onto Finker. After backing away, they're going to be wanting to try and maintain this man advantage. Mute playing aggressive on the head holes on the kitchen wall, going to be seeing if he can really try and pick someone up even while low,
Bomb
but
located by attackers.
no, I'm really going for that sort of peek. The Flourish drone opening up onto the prep wall and seeing if they can have more of an angle to deal with the window peek. But with the players stacking up on prep, they are going to be looking like they want to flash this and go in, as they're not yet moving. The player does swing aggressively, and IQ does find that frag, trading one more on to the defending side. And that is now going to make the entire count equal. The nade coming in, dealing with the shield, dealing no damage to the defensive player, actually, of Castle. And instead, it's only going to push him out to the side
Attackers
a
bomb
little
diffuser
bit
has been dropped.
in order to open it up. But the attacking side just falling one by one. Only 2 players alive on the side of the defense, and only IQ left alive on the attack. IQ rotating through the mini bakery rotate and does end up losing a life to the Wamai, and that's another round on the board for FiBE. A 4-2 at the very minimum here for the side of Firebird, and that is going to be very, very promising for them. As moving into the previous 2 maps, they were able to get, I think, 5-1
Defenders, protect your bombs
on
from
both
being defused by attackers.
both halves that they played initially on both of those maps. I do think that this is going to be very, very promising for them if they do manage to get this round. And it is going to be very reminiscent of the previous maps. Wamai hanging around red, just waiting to see if he can catch any drones that are on the way up. Jaeger setting up Pixel and seeing if he can have this ready before really getting too far gone. But with these players being in the positions that they are, it's not going to be looking like there's going to be much in the way.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
The attacking side bringing the Amaru and the Ying. More than likely the Amaru going to be trying to either go through Heaven or maybe even trying to go up the laundry hatch. Amaru now going to be positioning herself over on the far side, potentially going to be going in through one of the cocktail windows, and is going to be waiting for the call to go into Heaven. More than likely waiting for the Capitao and the Ying to get up onto the top floor and get their smokes and flashes in, but the Ying going down is going to spell a bit of disaster for the attacking side, as they don't have those flashes in order to mask the sound They are able to get the darts out, and that is going to be very ideal for them as the Amaru is now ready to go in. The Amaru in through the heaven window, managing to find the first frag, and it's a bit of a chaos fight as Jaeger manages to find another in return, but Amaru finds another. And now 3 versus 3. Amaru still alive, going to be moving around in that area. Capital also getting the plant down. Finker on a sliver of HP, which is very unfortunate, but it is Finker. Finker, if she gets the adrenal surge off, is going to be able to heal herself up, and only 1 alive for the defensive side. Amaru more than likely has jumped out the window, and Amaru repelled onto the roof. Capital going to be finding the frag onto David, and that is going to be a 4-2 half in favor of Firebird. Another loud car going past my house. You can tell I live in a residential estate. And now, going in to round number 7 of this map. Really going to be pointing the finger at how this half is going to go, this deciding, or this first round of the half.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It's a wire in position.
I'm dead, Benji.
The defensive side bringing the Pulse, probably going to be playing below in the kitchen area, more than likely. And also bringing the Aruni in favour of the Jaeger for the utility denial. The attacking side going to be making the pick onto the Gridlock, which is a pick that I tend to favour as well. The pick onto the Gridlock is ideal over a Nomad because she can cover so much more. When it comes to the Gridlock as a whole, specifically coming down to the red hatch, if you place those Gridlock charges, those track stingers, not only does she have 4 of them now, but if you place 1 of them onto the banister of red stairs, the highest point of the banister, it flings them everywhere. Meaning that someone with an impact grenade or a nitro cell coming up the top of the stairs isn't going to be able to clear them all immediately. Which makes it a bit more of a hassle for defenders. It makes it a lot less work for the attackers, as they don't need to put as much effort into it. Yana losing a life on the rappel, though, is going to be less favourable for the attacking side of Firebird. Drones coming down through the hatches now, just to see if they can actually make some sort of play and find out the locations of some of these players. Hibana going down on the red stairs, not going to be ideal for them. As you see, the track stingers being placed actually on the stairs, which again is a bit questionable, but everyone does it their own way. As we now see Hibana being picked back up by the adrenal surge, but Finker going down on the top of the red stairs isn't going to be ideal for them, as the mute drops down the hatch and does fall to the Hibana below. Hibana finding another one onto the Legion. That is Mute and Legion both dead. 2 of the remaining 3 players are a bit low on HP, and that makes this a lot more winnable than what it was beforehand. Hibana on about half. The Pulse now going to be able to ping out her location, which is going to be a bit scary for her as she does move out into the pillar area. The guy on the heaven, the guy on heaven, almost able to see him there, but Pulse does manage to find the frag in the end as he rotates around to the door, and that is going to be a 3rd round for MZP.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Moving in now to round number 8. Both of these teams going to be very, very close to each other, as we are going to be desperately fighting on the side of MZP to be trying to get to those maps 4 and 5. Currently map 3, 2 maps up for the side of FiBE. This map could be the decider and could end the series as a whole, with FiBE winning the grand finals.
5 seconds remaining. Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
As the attacking side, this time opting against bringing that flank watch, instead for bringing the Osa and also bringing the Monty.
I'm dry.
This time the Finker going to be on the Heaven Rappel, seeing if she can catch anyone out, or on the Cocktail Rappel, sorry. Does manage to deal a lot of damage to Castle as he does run past the window, and that's not going to be very ideal for him, as he does rotate back. Now Finker is on the roof. He's made these head doors for himself in order to peek over and try and catch someone coming through the cocktail area. But as they are now just dropping the hatch and making sure they have the space, he sees one in the cigar shop. He does manage to get the frag onto the Monty, and that is going to be the Monty down, with Mute taking no damage. Now with Ace moving down those stairs, going to be trying to see if he can take an engagement with someone below, or even try and start getting the breach. He's going to be holding off, staying where he is. Manages to remove a little bit of utility there, but the Osa swinging onto the Mute there in the corner does manage to find the frag. And now, it's a 4v4 situation. Moving into this round, at the moment, not really a lot going on. Jaeger kind of caught in the corner, and Castle quite low on HP. He is going to be watching that cigar side, but with the window being open behind him, not really going to be very pressured as a whole, as the entire team of FiBE going to be moving through this cigar area. Rotating through, just misses an opportunity to try and frag that Ace, I assume. But as Finker has already moved all the way through into the bathroom area, going to be trying to take the engagement after the Jaeger. Does get wallbang onto the Jaeger, and Finker! One kill going the way of David, Finker getting the triple kill in that situation. And that is another round to FiBE. Moving in now 5-3 to the side of FiBE. FiBE potentially going to be trying to take us to match point here.
Here's the point and ready to go.
Reloading on ammo.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Shield deployed.
Wall, fortify. Going up.
MZP opting to defend the bottom floor, going to be trying to see if they can have as much success as what FiBE did in their first round.
Glow is up. We're on.
5 seconds.
And even in their second round, actually. They did manage to get the win both times, I think.
Attacker's objective is to defuse the bomb.
Scanning for electronic devices.
But anyway, moving in now, we do have the lineup on the board.
Detected a bomb.
This time on the attacking side, opting away from bringing the sledge in favor of bringing the IQ.
Detected a bomb.
Drone active.
Alongside that, moving away from the Thinker in favor of the Yana and the Osa. Yana does manage to find a frag onto one of those players. Alongside that, the Mute going down. So now Mute and Cade are both off the board. That's your ward denial and a bit of your info denial. You've only really got Jaeger, Echo and Castle remaining on the board, and Echo is mainly there for denying the post plan. Gastro manages to find a frag onto, speaking of the Echo, onto the Yana. But now with the Osa so far forward, going to be trying to see if anyone crosses her. Does manage to find the pick onto the Echo, and that is going to be 2 players alive, both on around half HP. She does peek again, manages to find another, and that is going to be Attackers. Firebird taking us to match point. Map point, series point. In favor of Firebird right now. As we are moving into our potential final round. MZP really need to pick up the pace. They need to pick up the pieces that were broken in the previous round. And as we are coming in, they are going for this Pulse Legion setup with their Aruni, with their Malusi, with the Mute on this reading fireplace hold.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
They did manage to win it in the previous round,
Razor wire deployed. Camera initiated.
but going down to a 1v5 and then still losing 2 of your players beforehand means there were definitely some mistakes made. So as a whole, they very much need to focus on what they're potentially doing wrong.
Reinforce the wall.
10 seconds to go. Bomb
As we are going into the round, it does seem like the setup is going to be potentially oriented towards the top floor a little bit more than it was in the previous round.
objective is to defuse the bomb.
Opening up the bottom right door though, however, going to be feigning some aggression onto the attacker spawn. We do see Malusi making sure to barricade off the piano door as she doesn't want to be pressured too early and too fast. We do have the Malusi gadget in Cigar as well, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get into there as fast as maybe they want to, but they are pressuring onto the pillar door. Moving over towards bottom right now is this Osa, going to be seeing if she can try and maybe take an engagement with any player that is hanging around that area still, but it doesn't look like that's to be the case. Yuno managing to find the first opening frag on this match point, series point, onto the Mute. And now we see these players getting ready, moving into the first stage, or the second stage of the round, setting up for their execute, making sure they've cleared out these people. And Osa loses her life after not clearing out this Aruni. Aruni still opting to hang around this area just to see if she can do a little bit more damage, but ends up falling in the process as Yana does manage to find her head through those footholes. Yana now pushing very aggressively into train, going to be seeing if she can find another engagement with another player. Another player has recently gone through that fireplace and isn't going to be losing that engagement this time around. Pulse, however, on 1 HP. And 2 of the players on the defensive side, last seen in the pillar area, probably going to be rotated into side now as Finker goes downstairs. Finker going to be probably trying to see if she can take an engagement with this Pulse, see if she can find him in general. Does go for the nade below and manages to find him easily. And that is a very integral part of this hold off the board. Now we're in a 3v2 situation as these players are going to be trying to get aggressive onto each other now. We do have this player in pillar, in the hard corner. They're not going to be checking him. He's going to be able to get a free kill onto this Finker, and he runs away. Almost loses his life in the meantime, does end up going down, and that is now a 2v1 for Malusi. Still a very winnable situation. As Malusi is postured up on white, she's going to be trying to see if she can deny this plant. We don't know where the plant's going to be going down, but
15 seconds left.
by the looks of things, it is going to be in
10
meeting.
seconds to go. Attackers
This
have
meeting
dropped
plant
the
going to be
bomb.
going down very quickly as Malusi pulls up the stairs in order to try and
Attackers
clean
have
up
recovered
that
their-
kill. The sledge. Fat fingering the wrong button there by the looks of things, as he is going to be going for the plant very heavily. But the Malusi coming up the brown stairs going to be ending up cleaning him up through the footholes, and that is round number 10 to MZP. Moving into round number 11. Still match point to the side of Firebirds. We now have a bit more of a game on our hands.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Jammer ready.
Attackers have discovered
MZP finally angered enough to really bite back, as we are in a bit of a precarious position. They're still on this back foot for the match point, but they've managed to pull it back far enough to the point where it's not a clear path to failure.
Activate jammer.
It's not a clear breeze win
ADS deployed and ready to go.
for the side of Firebirds.
attackers have
They are opening these hatches. They're going to be going this time to another middle floor site by the looks of things. Oh no, maybe they're on the top floor. Whoops. No, yeah, they're on the top floor. I'm just wrong. Just looking at it from a very weird angle. But they're on the top floor. They're going to be trying to play this with the same level of aggression that they went for in the previous round. Making sure that they've got these players on these off positions, making sure they're able to be take their engagements and be able to win them out. They need these crossfires. They can't be relying on single 1v1s, and overall, they need to maintain this roam pressure.
Attackers have located a bomb.
As the Irene was out and about, she does manage to find one frag. Buck managing to clean her up in the end, though, and that is going to be only a finger off the board for the side of Firebird. The Amaru, though, still alive and still on the board, potentially could be coming in to cause some sort of a fuss. Buck managing to find another frag. The Amaru still just postured up on the cocktail window, maybe taking an engagement with the Jaeger. It's a 3v4 now. A flash going in, and after he gave away his position, it's not going to be very good for him, as the Buck manages to find one more. He goes in to try and take an engagement with the Jaeger and Freezer, but doesn't end up finding that one, as instead he finds the grave. Amaru going up to the roof and seeing if she can put some pressure onto these players from the skylight, potentially. Or maybe just going for a hatch drop. Is going to be droning around red. As the castle and the Jaeger going to be on white and cocktail, respectively. Jaeger rotating back into Freezer, though. He's going to be seeing if he can try and take an engagement with someone that comes in through the red breach. But ends up losing his life. The Sledge with the wide peak. Going to be taking that frag, and that is a win! 3 maps! 3-0 to the side of Firebird. Congratulations and commiserations to both teams, respectively. But, more than anything, very, very well played from the side of Firebirds. Very convincing victories in the first 2 maps, and though it got a little bit dicey in the last one, they managed to pull through. Firebirds, you're undisputed victors of Stylex Season 6.